Well, joining me now to discuss this historic meeting is Arise News' global affairs analyst, Marco Vicenzino. Hello, Marco. It would be great if you could put this into context a little bit for us. Why has there been so much hostility for so long between these two countries?
Because basically, at the end of the Civil War in 1949, the communists defeated the nationalists. The nationalists under Chiang Kai-shek fled to Taiwan, declared themselves to be the official government of China, the Republic of China. And then while the communists, Mao Zedong and Mao Zedong, won on the mainland, they retained them and became the People's Republic of China. Two competing enemies, one losing the war, taking the island of Taiwan as a refuge, beginning their future republic there. So you've had all these decades of division, and the situation is that although over time, in recent years, we've seen a rapprochement in many ways, particularly on the economic front, there's been cross-straits improvements in terms of economy, they still remain two countries, but both they tend to accept the fact that there's one China and two systems with multiple interpretations.
So why now? Why have the two, after all these decades of hostility, got together now?
This was quite a hastily arranged meeting, obviously for political reasons. On the one hand, if you look at it from the Taiwanese perspective, well, before even that, you look at the terms of legacy. In 7 months from now, President Ma steps down, and he wants us to be part of his legacy of having broken the ice on the diplomatic front. On his part, President Xi of the People's Republic of China sees this as an opportunity, as just one important stepping stone in terms of his legacy in the making. He sees himself as a transformational leader. Deng Xiaoping in the late 70s, early 80s began opening China to the world. President Xi sees himself as a person who's going to bring China to the top of the world. So in this sense, it's important in the formation of his, what one could term his imperial presidency. But also you have to look at the elections. There's going to be elections in Taiwan in January of 2016. And in those elections, President Ma's party, the KMT, it's more than likely that it's going to lose that election. So what happens here is that President Xi of the People's Republic of China knows that if the DPP wins this election in 2016, that will probably close the window of opportunity for him to be able to have this symbolic meeting between leaders of both countries. So time is not on his side. So he basically wants to, even if a new DPP government comes in, which it tends to favor, it's not calling for independence, but it's pro-independence, and many won't declare it because of a fear of a Chinese invasion. What they'll do is that a leader of DPP wouldn't have such a meeting. Then on the other front, if you look at also from President Xi's perspective, President Xi, in recent days, you've had the Spratly Islands confrontation with the United States Navy. So what President Xi wants to do also, he's looking at this opportunity to seize the diplomatic initiative to demonstrate that although he has this sort of this confrontation with the U.S., that he is going to be the new emerging leader, together with as representative of China, as the leader of China, in asserting Chinese dominance in the South China Sea, and marking a new shift in paradigm. So with this new shift in paradigm, this meeting with the head of Taiwan is an important step of that new shifting paradigm, of which China will be the master in the Asia-Pacific region.
But these talks are symbolic, significant, however you want to look at them, not gone down well with everybody. There's been huge, angry protests during them. What's that all about? Basically,
when we speak about the January 2016 elections, those who are participating in these protests, most of them, what you would say, would be members or supporters of the DPP, because they're saying, President Ma, you only have 7 months left. How could you be engaging in this meeting when you basically have no mandate to do so? And so what their protests are about is that for them, it has no democratic legitimacy. For them, with a few months left in power, he should wait for the new government to come in, and it's for the new government to decide. But obviously, we've mentioned these issues of legacy on the one hand for President Ma, and on the other hand, the part of the Chinese, of President Xi, is that he sees that window of opportunity narrowing once the DPP is more than likely to win the January 2016 elections.
So in reality, all of this showboating and handshaking and talking, it might actually just come to nothing come January.
Well, you have to look at it in certain ways. You have to look at it politically, diplomatically, and economically. In the economic sense, even if the DPP wins the election in January of 2016, the growing the cross-straits economic relations will increase, will improve. It's doubled since 2005. On the diplomatic front, like I said, this is you can call this groundbreaking on the diplomatic front. But on the political front, regardless of who wins, many, even those who support greater cross-straits relationships, will not renounce or surrender the vibrant democracy that is in Taiwan today. Because many of them, they say, well, look at Hong Kong, what happened. Hong Kong, when it became part of China in 1997, there was this call for one nation, two systems. And September of 2014, what you call the umbrella revolution, is anger at China, and China is encroaching into democracy in Hong Kong itself. And many ordinary Chinese, like I said, they have a vibrant democracy, and many of them won't sacrifice it at any cost at all.
Because it is fair to say that there are neighbouring countries of China a bit twitchy now, not just Taiwan.
Yeah, I mean, the twitchy countries, I would say, is going back to the issues of territorial claim, for example, in the East China Sea, disputes with Japan. And then if you go once the South China Sea, what we've seen in recent days, although the American Navy was at the forefront, it did have the support of the other nations that claim parts of the South China Sea. China claims most, if not all, of the South China Sea. The other countries being Vietnam, Philippines, Brunei, Malaysia, Taiwan itself, as the official Republic of China as it sees itself. So you see that although the United States has taken the initiative in trying to say that the South China Sea is international waters and no one can claim, and especially you can't create 7 artificially made islands in the Spratlys and then try to create a territorial zone around them. Basically, the United States is at the lead, but with the support of the other countries of the region. President Xi made it clear, and at least officially, he wants to resolve this issue peacefully through diplomatic means. But how that's done still remains to be seen.
Marco, thank you very much indeed.